Saint Francis, the founder of the Franciscan order, was deeply connected to nature and all living creatures. His love for God's creation was not limited to humans, but extended to the entire natural world, animals, plants, and the environment. One of the most famous stories from his life tells of how he preached to birds. According to tradition, on one occasion, while walking with his disciples, Francis saw a group of birds in a field. While his disciples might have expected him to ignore them, Francis stopped and began speaking to them. Addressing the birds, he thanked them for praising God through their flight and song. He reminded them that God had created all things and that they too were called to praise the Creator through their very existence. What is fascinating about this story is not just that Francis preached to animals, but the way the birds responded. According to the tradition, the birds quietly listened to Francis as he spoke, as if they truly understood his message. This story symbolizes Francis's deep faith in God's presence in all creatures and his belief that all of nature reflects God's glory. But Francis didn't just preach to birds. There's also the story of how he tamed a wolf in the town of Gubbio. The townspeople had been terrorized by a wolf that attacked their livestock and even people. Hearing about this, Francis decided to visit the town and confront the wolf. When he found the wolf, Francis spoke to it calmly and lovingly, and the wolf ceased its aggression. According to the story, Francis made a deal with the wolf. The townspeople would feed it, and in return, it would no longer harm them. This event not only brought peace to the town, but also demonstrated Francis's faith in God's power over all creation. Throughout his life, Saint Francis showed that it was possible to live in harmony with nature, respecting all creatures as God's handiwork. His love for nature was so profound that he wrote the Canticle of the Creatures, a hymn of praise to God for everything he had created: the sun, moon, wind, fire, water, earth, and all living creatures. This story of Saint Francis of Assisi reminds us of the importance of respecting God's creation and encourages us to treat nature with love and care. His example teaches us that every part of creation, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, has its place in God's plan and deserves our attention and respect. Saint Francis of Assisi inspires us to live with love for God and all his creatures, recognizing God's presence and glory in them. Through his example, we are called to be stewards of nature and to live gratefully in harmony with God's will, praising him alongside all creation.